Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community, everybody. Join with me today, as always, is my co-host Chris.
Hey.
And I'm your host, Nico. Welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time checking out this show, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like what you saw here today, hit that thumbs up, that like button for us. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when these episodes drop weekly. We normally drop them on Saturdays every week, but sometimes Sundays, depending on what happens on any given week when we can actually get the show out to you guys. If we've actually read all of our comics, there's a lot of different things that factor into the release date of these episodes, right? Sometimes all of the internet goes down all over Ontario. Shit happens.
Did you lose power a while ago too, or no?
That's right. I did lose it for a little bit that night, but luckily it was earlier on in the evening. I think I got it back at 5 p.m. that day because of some power line stuff. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Things happen. That's what we're trying to tell you. But as always, though, here's that cautionary tale. Spoiler warning, guys. Things should happen. Sometimes you're going to get spoiled. We're going to show off some of the art from the books here today for you guys. We're going to be, talking about some of the things that happen in these books. We try to stay away sometimes from big spoilers, depending if on not whether we want to talk about them. But, we do our best. But, yeah, just be forewarned. As always, like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we're going to be talking about the new comics for the week of August 17th, 2022 this week. Man, I'm just chugging along. The summer's almost done here. So, yeah, it goes by too quick. Speaking of comics, myself, I'm actually going to be attending Fan Expo, the Comic-Con here in Toronto next weekend. So that should be interesting. We're going to be attending the show, walking the floor a little bit. Also going to be working a couple days. So, yeah, maybe the week after when I get back from the con the following week, I'll have to talk about some of my Comic-Con experiences. Maybe I'll show off like a little Comic-Con haul for you guys or something here on the show when we do Comic Shop Talk. All right, Chris, without further ado, though.
That's it. Strap in. It's a big week, and let's talk comics.
All right, first up on the docket, we got Hulk number 8 this week, which when we had talked about, let's take a look at Chris's cover here. Hold up, let's see that.
Now, one of the Hellfire Gala covers.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I like that one. She-Hulk on there. So, yeah. Last time this was brought up on the show, I didn't even remember that this was still going on. Chris had to remind me. He's like, I don't think that actually ever ended because this issue 8 of this and Thor have been majorly delayed, right? By a couple of months. So this is the finale of Banner of War, the crossover that Donny Cates was writing between Hulk and Thor. Both books he was already a writer on. This was the finale. What'd you think of this, Chris?
I thought it was a satisfying end to the arc. I thought there was great action in there, a few big surprises, and it keeps me looking forward to more Hulk and more Thor. What about you?
I to be honest, I think it lost a little bit of steam for me because of the delay. I think it did affect it for me. I thought it was a satisfying end, but it did feel like after the long delay that I don't want to say it's anticlimactic, but it was like it just they just kind of had to wrap everything up here, right? I mean, and obviously what else is supposed to happen between a crossover between Hulk and Thor, right? It wasn't like Cataclysm. It wasn't that, they tried to make it like
one person can't die from it.
Right.
It's like in wrestling, you can't have the hero versus hero match.
Yeah. So it was a good ending though. I did like it. I have a question. It actually is going to come up here in the art previews that we're showing off on the screen right here in a moment. That ending though, what do you think that was all about? Because there was a red sparkle in Thor's eye there.
Just something to tease the future. So I don't know if there's like a spirit of something left in somewhere or what's going on with that. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what that was alluding to, but some interesting things. Well, hopefully coming up now in Thor as a result of the end of this. I don't know if it had anything to do with this particular storyline or what they were sort of trying to hint at. But yeah, the coolest part of this, I think, was this thing where he basically ripped out, the world tree, that ancient tree. That's, a big deal for that.
Well, that was a bit of a bummer too. At the end of the fight, the magic of Mjolnir, sets everything straight again. But
right, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Everything has to go back to where it was previous to this, right? I mean, but I did like the ending. I did like how they parted ways at the end there, and And yeah, there you go. This is the panel I was alluding to here, guys. At the end of the book, there's looks like there's some lightning, red lightning going on in his eyes. I don't know if there's like if that's like a like is
Yeah,
that
is that like Thor armor that it was in, or was like a Hulk armor or something?
Oh yeah, so that's not even Thor standing there. I thought it was Thor the first time I read this. So because that's the that's that other armor beside it. What the hell's that one called? The Destroyer or something, right?
Yeah,
The armor.
it
Yeah.
looks
So
like they're kind of locked up, in the Guardian
ah,
sort of vault or something,
so maybe that's hinting at whatever is going to happen next in Thor. I guess that had nothing to do with this Banner versus Hulk thing. Maybe there's something going on in the armory of Asgard or something like that, right? Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, there you have it. That's so like I said, it was a satisfying conclusion, but I do think I felt it lost a little bit of steam, unfortunately for me, just because of that delay with the books coming out. But so like I said, I honestly had forgotten. I thought it was over, this event, right? And then I was like, oh, it's not over. And then I was like, okay, it was fine. But I don't know. What'd you think? You said you liked it overall, right?
I liked it. I like the arc altogether, with them all sort of trying to trading powers, and you kind of see them even in this issue. I got Beta Ray Bill seeing Thor holding Mjolnir, or Hulk holding Mjolnir. He's like, whoa, what's going on here? Some crazy business going on.
I give that. Yeah,
Beta Ray Bill, it's always fun to see him there.
Yeah.
And the series, I give like the arc itself, I give it a 4, and this issue I give it a 4.
I agree with you. I think overall I give the crossover between these two books a 4, but I give this issue in particular a 3.5. But I think that's really just based off of, like I said, I think the fact that there was such a delay in the last book for me to this issue. So I think all read in one chunk, I think I would have been a lot happier. Or if this was like the last issue was 2 weeks prior to this or something, you know what I mean? Like if it was something like that, I think I would have been a lot happier with it. But I was like, I kind of was over this crossover by the time this issue came out. Now I felt like I moved on to the next thing, right? I just wanted the next issue of Hulk, but I was kind of over this storyline. I was like, I want to get back to like what this book was previous to the crossover at this point, right?
Well, at least they didn't give us like some Banner War Omega or something like that, where you got to go buy an extra issue to figure out. I'm glad it was all self-contained.
Yeah, all in though, I think I would give it a 4 too. I thought it was a solid crossover. I liked it. Yeah. So and by giving it 3.5, it's not even that I thought it was bad, right? All right. So next up, we got Daredevil #2. This was apparently legacy numbering issue 650, or a way for them to get us to spend $6 on a second issue of a relaunch comic, which I thought was very confusing.
First, they not have freaking just made 650 #1, and hey, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But anyways.
I just want to throw this out here before you give your review. I gotta say this, and you may have. I was about to say the same thing about this issue. You want to talk about how you were calling that 900 Amazing Spider-Man issue not special? This is not a special issue. This issue is not special. They really tried to like I said, higher price tag, bigger page count, couple of backups. Got to bring back every like legacy artist from Daredevil like history in this. Like there's a lot of great artists that have worked on Daredevil over like the past 20 years that was in this issue. Or sorry, even 30 years if you're going to go back with John Romita, which they all did that one page pinup type deal where they were trying to reflect.
I thought that was nice, but
but anyways, I just wanted to say this was, I think, if you're going to say, oh, this is a big issue, no, this wasn't like not by any means. Like I feel like that Amazing Spider-Man that I know you said you weren't too happy for an issue 900 for them to do like a one-off annual type story. Like this is like 650. This is bullshit. Whatever this was.
Well,
like,
I'm loving Spider-Man compared to this. I'll tell you that much.
So I just want to put that out there. I think while reading this, I'm like, this is something that's not really worth celebrating. Whatever this is. Like, but go on.
Yeah, like that's same thing. I said it looks like it was a bit of a pause of the ongoing story to celebrate some legacy milestone. It wasn't my favorite issue. I thought there were some nice panels inside, like you say, where they had kind of those big splash pages with featuring some of the different artists. That's all nice.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm starting to a little trend. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm starting to not like it so much. Is having this secret kind of a behind the scene force kind of shaping these characters, like with this Goldie guy. Basically, this whole issue, he's talking about how he's in the background, kind of slowly directing Daredevil to do these things to make him a better person. Enough of this already. They're doing it like, basically it's just more of the same stuff from Punisher. and
Yeah.
I'm not really liking that trend.
Well, yeah, it's like revisionist history. Like they're going back and saying, "Oh yeah, you know that moment like you read many years ago from this
Yeah,
character's
that was so
history."
long ago. It wasn't. It was somebody pushing them to do it.
It's them basically trying to add to continuity instead of
Yeah,
changing the continuity. So, but then it kind of makes those other stories inconsequential. Like you could now go
exactly.
back and read those things and be like, so he was in the background the whole time. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's going to possibly
It's true,
ruin
though.
the legacy of
Leave the
those
old stories
stories.
alone.
I agree. I don't like when they do that either. When they add like this, like they're like, yeah, he was there all along. Like, get out of here,
Yeah.
man. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, and that's actually going to happen. Well, it depends how they do it. Some things I think it's interesting that the way they do these things sometimes, and they add certain things because you could take it as maybe this happened this way, maybe it didn't. But in this, they're like definitively like,
Yeah.
well, we don't really know though. This guy's kind of off his rocker. This guy, like this guy could be
Well,
crazy for all we know.
unless they're only doing this for because it's a legacy issue or a legacy milestone, and they want to find some way to tie it all together. Then after this, you forget
Right.
about it again, and then it just means it's a crappy issue.
Which is what I think it kind of was to a certain degree.
But you know, if Goldie's in the next issue again or whatever his name is,
yeah,
or the next time he shows up and he's still some freaking crackpot that's talking about God and things like that. Enough.
That's the one part about it I did like though, is the uncertainty if he's crazy or not, because like and the fact that they're playing with because the whole Catholicism, like Daredevil's faith and religion and all that stuff has been a theme that's been played out throughout Daredevil's history through comics as well, right? So I think that it's cool that they're revisiting it slightly with that idea of it, but I agree it's kind of stupid that they're trying to say that he's been watching over him all these moments in his life.
Especially like it's right from the beginning, before you had powers. Oh, I knew you were something special. Like I didn't like it. I don't like it here.
But I do like how like either like he just disappeared like into the rain like during this fight that they had, and then like I like the uncertainty of whether or not this guy's just insane or if he does have some sort of angelic powers. You know what I mean? Like I do. Yeah. There is certain aspects of it I like, and I gotta say, Marco Cicchetto, the artist who drew not the pinup stuff obviously, but then one of the main series artists that's been doing a great job throughout, Devil's Reign and everything else. Like these scenes with the train, like this page we have up right now, amazing. Great looking pages. Like he killed it on the art. I did like how the people came to help Daredevil out of the rubble and stuff like that. Like there was some
good stuff.
There were some good moments, but I think overall as a story and something that if you're gonna say this is important, like I don't know, it didn't feel like it was like a a legacy, like a 650 issue, like something worth it talking about the storyline so far. And so here we got.
I feel they got a good storyline going on. They could have made something, impactful in this new storyline in this issue, but they just kind of throw it away to kind of relive some old memories.
Well, the only thing I'm not too sure about though is Kirsten McDuffie actually dead? And did that actually happen to the train or not? Because or was it all in his head towards the end there? That was the thing I wasn't so clear on either.
Well, it sounded like she wasn't on the train, and that train was out of service, and that just passed by the station, so nobody got on it.
So it was like a vision that he had when he approached the train station, I guess, or something of this all going down. Yeah, that's what I mean. We don't know, right? So yeah, we got Alex Maleev here on this one. We got John Romita Jr. These are all artists that have worked on Daredevil. Great artists that have worked on Daredevil.
Yeah, like this is all nice stuff to see and read. The story itself wasn't bad.
Paul Azaceta. We got Phil Noto right here, who worked on the last run previous to just Chip Zdarsky. He did some art on Charles Soule was the writer of that run, which was pretty good. Chris Somney, he was awesome. He's the guy's been working on Firepower lately. Had a great run on Daredevil with Mark Waid in the 2000s there. Yeah. So I don't know who this was, but yeah, it's it was nice to see the pinups. This scene, I really like this scene when he jumps off and he's like, I don't know where the hell he went because all the rain's coming down. It's distracting.
That was good storytelling there.
Yeah. And then Chip Zdarsky even drew it back up, which I didn't love. I thought it was fine, but it was Ann Nesenti, who was actually the writer when John Romita Jr. was on the book in the 90s. She came back to write this this backup story, which was fine, but it was interesting seeing Chip Zdarsky's art in an actual Daredevil book though, for a 5-page story or whatever it was. He's not someone I think you see or associate with the big two superheroes all so much, even though he writes a lot of these books. he's not really the artist, right? A lot of the time. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So what'd you give this then overall?
I'll give it a 3.5. I liked it, but just want to get on with this hand story, whatever they're up to in Daredevil.
Yeah, I think it was good enough for a 3.5 as well. But cutting it close to lower, to be honest with you, for me, if it wasn't for I think the art, I think it's definitely bumped it up for me on this issue. So, anyways, all right, Chris, New Mutants.
Oh, New Mutants. Here we go. There it is. So this is the end of the Magic arc. It's not a bad story here. Well, I say we get a Sailor Moon type of Ilyana transformation in here, so I thought that was pretty cool to see. And you got a lot of stuff going on between Madeline Pryor and Magic, because she's giving the power of Limbo, I guess, over to the Goblin Queen or Madeline Pryor. And from what I hear in solicitation, she's going to be up to no good in the future. So who knows how this is going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I thought it's a great issue. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be reading too much more of New Mutants. I think I might be taking this up to 30, because that's another milestone issue that's probably going to suck. But we'll see how that goes.
So, am I right in saying then this current arc has still stayed away from everything Axe related at this point? Like this is just
it has nothing to do with Axe. This is all sort of. I think they probably just did this to kind of stall the comic to get it back to Axe.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a fan of Madeline, Queen of the Underboob.
I'm a fan of her there. There's some nice panels in here that are a little more subtle, let's say. There's the Sailor Moon transformation there.
That is a Sailor Moon
and that's like pulled right out there, And you go to the next page, boom, that's worth it.
Yeah, that's a straight up Sailor Moon transformation. You're not joking. I pulled these pages, these preview art here, but I didn't read this, so I didn't know what was going on. So that is interesting that you point that out.
I guess you call it an homage to Sailor Moon, whatever you want to call it, the copy them. But otherwise, this story arc with them trapped in limbo. There's some good twists and turns in here. I think they have to fight another Magic here. So it was good. I was happy. I liked it. And we'll see how the rest of this goes. I'll give it a 3.75.
Nice. All right. And then we got Captain Marvel 40.
Captain Marvel 40. Nice cover there. Let's see. So this is the end. No, this is still the middle of her trials. They got those Magic Tribunal is, I don't know, trying Captain Marvel to see if she's worthy for whatever reason. And it looks like Carol passes the trials. Enchantress isn't too happy about this in here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some fun dialogue there between all the Magic heavyweights inside there. So it's fun to watch, fun to read.
Yeah.
And it ends with the Enchantress threatening her revenge. So that's fun stuff. One down about this is, you got the cover with Binary here, saying, oh, what's this going on? Binary isn't even in the whole issue. It's like, come on. It's a little pet peeve of mine when the cover has absolutely nothing to do in there.
Sure.
Like, oh, where in the world is Carol? Like, the bubble has more to do with the story than anything that's going on there.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, there's that. We go back a page. That was a nice scene there, too, where they're kind of Wanda and Carol are reminiscing, and this is sort of the seed to her undoing or her passing the tests.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I give it a 3.75. I liked it.
Relaxing.
And I'm liking that Carol the Captain Marvel is still kind of the comic book character. It's not like they're trying to transform her into the Captain Marvel of the movies or anything like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, looks good. This is one of those
coming in.
Yeah, this is one of those books I read in trade. So like I've enjoyed the whole run that Kelly Thompson has been writing. I mean, I'm probably read up to issue 30 something. I haven't read any of this new arc, but it's always a good book and a lot of great dialogue and it's fun. I do like that book. All right. So next up we got Strange number 5, which I know, Chris, you had mentioned you didn't end up.
I thought I'd be getting it, but just I guess didn't come into my stack.
Okay. So yeah, Strange number 5. In this issue, it actually where we left off previously with the whole thing with her mother showing up. She's kind of still there, you know, after they've taken down that SWAT team of magical little user guys that attacked the house. And she, you know, she's sitting here talking shit at the start of the issue, drinking their blood. and then the Harvest Man showed up at the end of the last issue, or she actually went to track him down. You know, she's continued on this whole, on the whole fact that all this shit that keeps happening to her, like he's somewhat involved, and like she keeps nudging him to like get him so he can figure out a way how to resurrect Steven, like bring him back. And you know, she's not getting anywhere with him. And then in this issue, her travels are, I guess, efforts to kind of get him back, because she's really just talking to like a bunch of supernatural and magical people in order to see if there is a way to bring him back. She went to somebody who she knows has been resurrected and has come back to life many a times, that Jed MacKay, the writer of this book, is also currently writing, and that's Moon Knight. So she goes to visit Moon Knight in this issue. So I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm a huge fan of Moon Knight. I've read the first trade of Jed MacKay's Moon Knight. I think it's great stuff. And the fact that they both sat down with one another, and then he's like, well, listen, you know, I can try to help, but you're going to have to follow me on patrol tonight, because I got to go do my rounds. Essentially, I got a couple quick things I got to take care of. So, you know, they went into the night, and he went to a couple places and dealt with a couple of things, and she kind of helped out in her own way. And they kind of seen things from different perspectives in terms of how each other deals with certain aspects of their jobs, I guess, essentially, or what they do. And like, for instance, there was some guy that was giving Moon Knight a hard time, and he's like, listen, I don't got magical power, so I got to scare these people, like kind of like Batman, like put fear into their hearts type of thing, right? And he's like, and then you know, and then beat the shit out of them sometimes, pretty much. And she's like, oh, you want to scare them? Okay? So like, she just went all demon on like somebody. She like just, you know, went full out demon on somebody, and then she basically took him and put him in like a limbo place of some sort, like, you know, where he's going to be chased for eternity by the mindless ones, right? So like, it was kind of cool right here. It was kind of cool to see that kind of stuff. Obviously, like, with this whole time, we've been dealing with a different type of Strange, with much more, you know, much more vengeful and less forgiving, it seems like, in terms of like Stephen Strange, right? Her being the Doctor Strange in this title, right? So I do enjoy it. I think it's a great book. The art was good, and there is a huge reveal on this next page of who the Harvest Man is, which I did not put up the art for. I wanted to kind of leave it out there. It was one of those things where, like, once you found out, you're like, okay, that's not too surprising. But I was surprised in the sense I didn't actually ever think of it. So I was like, okay. So there's a moment where he takes off his mask at the end of this issue, and you get to see who he is finally, the Harvest Man. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So I give it a 4. Thought it was a good issue.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to see when heroes are chilling with each other there, you know?
Yeah, you know, like, I do like to see the crossovers of these guys. I mean, that used to happen like back in the day with the Marvel comics too, right? They're all in the same cities, these guys, so they're gonna obviously run into each other and have team ups and this kind of stuff. So yeah, I do enjoy it. That's the thing. I mean, the issue maybe was like less, like maybe it was a 3.5, 3.75, but the fact that Moon Knight was in it, I had to give it a 4 because I love Moon Knight. So I was like, oh, I get to spend some time with Moon Knight. He wasn't on the cover, so it was a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise in there. That's good.
Yeah. So I liked it. Okay, next up we got Batman the Night number 8 of 10. This was great too. Another great issue, man. Zdarsky's killing it on the Batman stuff. Honestly, between the start of his Batman run and this Batman the Night, I think he's been doing a great job. Yeah, this issue basically, like, you know, with like every issue, it kind of takes him, his travels takes him somewhere different to a person that's mastered like some different type of skill that he's been collecting throughout, you know, his early days prior to becoming Batman. And in this one, he comes to this dude's house on the hill here, this guy that comes and answers the door here in this scene. And like, this guy is some guy that basically it's a part of Batman that he's able to like manipulate his mind, like to almost like not to feel pain, to be able to, like, you know what I mean, like take so much intensity, and like he can actually change his mind to work a certain way. Or if, let's say, someone drugs him, like, it's basically just like it's really just helping it mentally. It's about kind of how he is the cold human being he is Batman kind of. He had to learn how to suppress a lot of shit and actually like and use it to his advantage when he needs to. And so that's basically what this issue is. It's him just kind of training with Batman in his house. But then towards the end of this issue, he kind of mind fucks him, and he kind of busts out some photos where it looks like somebody abducted Alfred and somebody else, and like loved ones in his life, like maybe the only people that he cares about, right? And he shows them these pictures that they've been tortured, and then his friend shows up all beaten at this guy's mansion, and he's like, what kind of game are you trying to play at here? And then it kind of ends in like a big showdown between Batman and this other guy here on like a mountaintop, and then it goes into this fantastically drawn fight sequence here, which I put up the main pages for here, like lightning striking, they're kind of going at it with swords and shit, like and it was a really great fight scene. I mean, it's not easy to draw really great fight scenes. I think choreograph them out in comic books for all artists. And he knocked it out of the park. So I think I wanted to highlight that. I think that was the best part of the issue, and he ended up coming out on top. And by the end of the issue, riding off into the sunset, looking at his next stop, the Al Ghul's. So yeah, so not 8 issues in, you haven't seen him don the cowl once. So that's what's really been interesting about this series. He's not even Batman. This is Batman in training, but he's gone a lot of places and has learned a lot of interesting things along the way, and it's been interesting to witness. So really great series, and when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be a really great collection to pick up. I'll probably double dip and pick up the collection of this. So I gave this one a 4.25.
Nice.
There you go. All right, next up, X-Men 13. What'd you get for this one, Chris? Oh yes, so did I. Let's take a look. This Art Adams beauty of a cover. Yeah,
that's it. Can't turn that down. Red Hot Feeder.
He's gonna be at the show next week at Fan Expo, but unfortunately, you got a commission from him. It's like $1,000 at least, from what I've heard. So I don't think I'll be getting that, because I could probably get like 3 or 4 other ones instead of getting like for that much. You know what I mean? But
yeah, for sure.
But it's worth it. He's really good.
Nice, but it ain't like super nice.
Yeah, I've seen his
not $1,000 nice.
Well, I don't know. Some of them I've seen. Yeah, I would say so.
Well, I don't know.
It's expensive.
For $1,000, I'd hope it'd be more than this cover. That's for sure.
It's more than that. Yeah. But anyways, all right. X-Men number 13. What did you think of this one, Chris?
Okay, I guess we get to see the new team in action here. Let's see it. I think I'm on board with this new team. I'm warming up to this Sync character. I like what Forge was up to in here. And I can't wait for Havoc and Firestar to kind of let loose. Firestar was in the background. I think when they wrote this issue, they didn't know who the winner of this mystery poll was going to be, because she's kind of just sitting around in the back, and like just they might have just added her in last minute. That's my feeling, at least.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. That's actually a good because she wasn't up close in any of the scenes. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I actually like that you say that, because I remember when they first announced this team, you're like, Forge, and then he actually had a pretty awesome part in this. Like, honestly, like it is really just about how you utilize him, because like he is the guy that can make like anything. Like that is his mutant power, essentially. Like he can actually like put together all these like like crazy inventions, essentially, right? But like that's like depending like in this scene right here where he actually helped take out one of these beasts that they're fighting, right? Like it was kind of cool. Like I like how they had him lounging about, and then he's like, yeah, just gonna set up this huge ass gun. Like,
but it had limits too. It's not like he had freaking 300 rounds for this thing. Because I got 1 bullet. That's it.
Yeah. He's like, sorry, folks, that's it. Yeah, exactly. I liked it a lot, and I liked this scene even between Jean and the Eternal guy here. I forgot his name. His name, but anyways. I'm with you. I really like this team too so far. The only thing is, I kind of went to, both ways on this while reading the issue. One, I was like, well, we left off and they just first introduced the team at the end of the gala. We haven't really got to spend a lot of time with them. And in this issue, they're like right into the action, because they didn't really have the choice of having that issue before this event started, like the gala, and then the event started right away. But you did get to see them also work together as a team right away as a result of this. Like there was no long buildup. You know what I mean? I would like some character moments with these guys when they have some more downtime. But like, yeah, it was great seeing this. Great art, great action in this one. Yeah, I dig this team a lot. I love Magic. Havoc's cool. Like, yeah, Forge was good in this. Sync, yeah. Well, I mean, Sync's was on the last team too. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a great team.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I actually might like this team actually better than the previous team, to be honest with you. I love Magic, so I was really
Yeah,
glad.
I'm happy. Like that's why I'm happy. Like I can leave New Mutants in the dust and just follow Magic here with the X-Men, where it looks like it's going to be more sort of action oriented rather less than story oriented. Let's say.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. And then yeah, the issue ended with the moment that we just saw in Acts 2, which Buddy pops up here and says he's going to judge them all. I like that. Get ready.
I am looking forward to all these judgments, and see. I've read some solicitations or something about the judgment of the first person that gets judged is Captain America, and he gets found like he got thumbs down.
Uh-oh.
And then there's Tony Stark is like, fuck, if Captain America got thumbs down.
Right.
What the hell can we do?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, and like, I think that's just the nature of human beings, though. Like, no one's perfect. So, like, what kind of scale is this guy judging on? Right?
Exactly. It was just a preview, so I didn't read much. All I remember, I just read it. Goes, Captain America's the first person that got judged, and he got thumbs down. It was like, holy smoke!
I agree because like
thumbs down.
Yeah, they're in for some trouble then because Captain America is supposed to be the best of them. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like in terms of his moral, yeah.
Well, this could be shaping up into something a little better than I expected from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stay optimistic.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm going to stay optimistic as well about it. So, all right. So, what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.75. I'll give it a 4. Come on, I like that.
Same.
4.
Same. Yeah, I give it a 4 too. Yeah, I was about to say, come on, 4.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 6. And let's see that cover. Oh, you got the Dodson cover. You got the Dodson one. Yes, I know. I wanted this cover. I didn't order it, but it was a nice one. Yeah, very nice. So yeah, this is the first issue outside of the first arc. The first 5 was just like the Devil Neza arc or whatever, and this is the first one that's kind of like a one and done, kind of like the wrap up to the end of the last story. Because
I guess Robin got lost in the time stream, and they had to go find him. Basically,
that's right. Yeah. So, what do you think of this one?
I thought the art we're hearing was great. It's still a nice, pretty comic, bright, a lot of good stuff going on here. But like what got me is everybody's thinking how Batman's always dark and brooding. He doesn't seem to be so dark and brooding in here, and now I know why freaking everybody loves him when he's dark and brooding. Because what's he doing on the trapeze? Freaking doing like aerial.
This scene,
yeah, like come on, what is that? You know what? Smiling there at the end there when he's waving to the crowd.
You know what? I think this is more of like the golden age Batman. Like that's what this comic's supposed to be. It's kind of like more old school because you're right. He has no right swinging and smiling, and I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's it's cool that they had that moment together, but at the same time, it's like, what are you doing? Like you could have just
I don't know. This is an issue not for me, let's say. It was still nice. Like I said, the art's great. Yeah. It's fun seeing Superman in there, and the way they go find him, all that baloney stuff. Yeah. But I'm ready to move on to the new arc. And
I like Superman as a strong man, though. That was pretty fun. I like the strong man of the circus.
I don't know what to do with Superman either. Like some of those Warworld covers there, he's in gladiator outfits. I think that Warworld Apocalypse, the cover. Yeah. I think that's looking like it's looking like a Liefeld cover there. They got him like super jacked with a tiny head. But I'll see when I get it. Maybe it just looks like that on the solicitations.
I know what cover you're talking about. It looks bad.
Yeah.
I like this. This is the first issue too without Dan Mora on art, which he was the artist on the last 5 issues. But I thought the artist in this was still good. That being said, I probably prefer Mora, but if this guy's the backup artist that's going to be switching off with the other artists, I have no problem with that. No, this artist is not bad whatsoever. Like this is just like a nice one and done story of him. Like it kind of tapped into the whole thing about him and his circus past.
Yeah,
got to relive that a little bit in a way, but at a different. In the past, like a different time and place, and it wasn't Haley, like it was like a different circus and all that kind of stuff. But I think they got to kind of explain that about Dick Grayson in a way by not actually showing you flashbacks from his life because he got to travel to this time and place, right? So I thought that was cool. And then
a little murder mystery in there to kind of keep you going.
Yeah, like a nice one and done where he took down this idiot who's trying to screw over the circus, right? So so overall though, I thought it was fine. Yeah, it was an enjoyable issue. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 3.5. I liked it, but maybe a little too much for me.
I agree with you. I was going back between 3.5 and 3.75, but I'm going to probably go 3.5 on this one too. Yeah. I much preferred, I think, the last arc to this one, but it was a good. The nice thing about this was it was a nice, like, capper to this, the way we left off with Robin in the last issue.
Just the filler issue, and we'll see. Nothing
yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we got Catwoman 46, Chris. And I got to say, loving the art on this book. These first few pages where there's many her and like all her different iterations over the years, like different costumes. I was when I was putting these preview art together, I was loving it. I was like, oh, this is great. Like you start off the book with her with the ridiculous boob costume of the 90s. I'm a fan of that.
A Sozomaki cover or something.
Nice.
That's a nice one there.
Yeah.
Did I write anything about this Catwoman? I think this is the end of an arc here as well.
Okay.
And I think she's trying to. Who's that white guy there that's with her? I forget what his name is. But I don't know. She just sort of explains kind of what's going on in here. You know, all the mafia families are kind of banding together, and they're cutting her out, and they're cutting out, I guess, the Chinese gang or something, and the Chinese gang leader, I forget what her name is, Aiko or something. She was sort of in league with Catwoman, and they're trying to just kind of regain their power. And so in order to do that, that's her there, the Aiko, whatever her name is, and Catwoman have to make it look like that they're not in cahoots anymore. So he tries to stage her death, and I guess it works, and then she's taken off to Europe. So we'll see where things go from there. Yeah, the boat blows up. There's her escaping. And the last page was kind of weird because that Aiko person is standing up there in the moonlight wearing a Catwoman costume, and she's taken off. So I don't know if she maybe has her own plans to kind of keep Catwoman running while she's away, but we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
But it's still a good story. I'm liking it, kind of a nice street level comic, with all the mafia dons. The Black Mask is in there. He's a big character in here, and he's been kind of, the big bad, I guess, in the last few issues at least. I'll give it a 3.75.
Nice. Okay. And we got Edge of Spider-Verse number 2.
Yep. There we go. Edge of Spider-Verse number 2.
Again, for me, putting together the art for this one, some great looking art in this book, I gotta say. I was looking through some of the images. Here. Yeah, I was like, there was some good art on this book, I thought. Yeah,
so the story's starting to come together or shape up a little bit. The story itself is a bit of a stretch explaining the Wasp, but I guess that's the big enemy in here. Okay. And well, what can you do? It's comics. Like, I think the Wasp and the Spider back, I think not in this issue, or not in this story, but in the next story. This is like from the beginning of time. And this Wasp's character was supposed to try and kind of map out the multiverses, and she used a hive. And this little kid with the spider totem goes, "Oh, we don't need a hive. We can just use webs." And then the god of all these people says, "That web is so simple. We'll use that." And then I guess that hive person that had built that hive got a bit upset about it. And then so she threw wasps all in this web. And that's where this is sort of leading into, I guess, or trying to explain how all these spider totems and all these different spiders. But what might be happening, I think, in this is that you're seeing some of the spider characters get infected by these wasps. So I think they're building up to either a Spideyversal battle royal with the infected spider people fighting the spider people that haven't been infected to save, right. I don't know, Web or the web, whatever they call it. So I'm liking where this is going. Yeah. We had Spider UK. She was fighting, and they all kind of have spider type powers with a few modifications or differences. And she was on Ramadan there, so she wasn't eating, so her powers weren't quite at full level. Okay. So when I heard that she was on Ramadan and all that, I go, okay, whatever. You don't need to throw that in there, but it did have a real effect in the story, and it was part of the story.
Yeah,
so it worked out. I liked it. Nice. I'll give it 3.75 too.
Madam Web.
Yep. Yeah. Well, she's the one trying to get all these. She's going around trying to round up all these spider people, saying, this Wasp character is afoot, and that's like, I guess, their mortal enemy.
Yeah.
But
All
good
right.
stuff.
Nice. All right. Next up, we got Duo Powerbomb 3. Man, do I love this comic, man. This is a great comic. Every issue. I mean, you guys are going to get tired of me hearing about this. It's fantastic. I mean, this issue. So the big reveal, the big swerve at the end of the last issue, which I refused to say because it actually took me by surprise. I didn't mention it when we talked about the issue last on the show, was that the guy that killed her mother in the ring accidentally by fucking up a move, that she has now been forced to use as a tag team partner in this underworld tournament that they've had to enter via necromancers put together. The necromancers put together. And if they end up winning the tournament, they're granted a wish to bring somebody back to life because he is a necromancer. And of course, she would ask for her dead mother to come back. That person turned out to be her father. Her father is the masked man, the other wrestler. So apparently, like, and ever since then, I guess back then they didn't want her to break that illusion that it was her father fighting her mother in the ring, or for whatever reasons. I guess they had the reasons, and I guess they just didn't want her to think like, that, because then it may mess with her in terms of them like possibly hurting each other and everything else. But her father, like, I guess has been living this whole double life this whole time. And like, he was always trying to push her away from wrestling, and she doesn't understand why, but it's because of the fact, like, I mean, but it's his mistake. He's the one that messed up the move and killed their own mother in a wrestling match. But like, but he doesn't want that same thing for her. Right. And at this point, he's just, he's apparently like not done much with his career since the death of their mother, and this is kind of like, one of these type of arcs now where she still doesn't know that she's fighting with her dad. I'm sure she will find out at some point, but it's, they got a lot on the line. This is the father and daughter trying to win the life of their dead mother back, essentially, by winning this tournament. So that was a pretty crazy big swerve, I thought, because I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that's who this other wrestler was going to be. But that being said, now they've showed up to the tournament in this issue, and in this issue you got the most wrestling that we've seen. But this is a wrestling comic, so it was good to get to that finally in this. Probably throughout the whole 3 issues so far was in this issue, because you got to see, and then it kind of turns into like, to what your point was, Chris, that you heard there's going to be like some Dragon Ball type themes in this. It's basically a battle royale tournament type style thing. Like, and it reminded me of Dragon Ball, like when they do the tournament. So they do because all the like tag teams are these ridiculous teams from other dimensions, like other like worlds and stuff like that. Like basically that have come to this underworld. Just her team and another team are listed as people that are actual wrestlers from Earth. And on all these other people's planets or wherever, like, wrestling is real. It's not scripted. So like, they're all under the impression that these people are fighting for real. And they're like, well, no, like somebody came up to them and they're like, oh, is it true what I heard that you guys say, like, this is what you guys fight? This is not on Earth, it's fake. And they're like, what do you think? Like the father said that. And he's like, oh, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, it must be, bullshit, right? Like, I'm just like that. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, he's like, because they're like, we actually got to, like, we're actually wrestling.
They have to really fight there.
Yes. And this person's green as hell, his daughter. He says that she's got like something in her, like it's just the spirit, and like, I mean, like, but she's not. But she exhibits it in this match. They have a tag team match in this in their first round of this issue. And, like I said, if you look at the cover, this actually is true to what happens in the issue. They have to fight these big gorillas, these orangutans. They got to fight 2 fucking orangutans. And the orangutans, there's this really sad ass moment where they lose, and they're like, they're trying to bring back, like,
they have their own reasons for doing everything.
And I'm like, I can't believe this. I feel bad for these orangutans. It's just like, this is horrible, because they're like sitting there all sad after they lose the match, right? But like, they help them out in the bar. They meet these other 2 people that I'm sure is going to be the people that are, because they're at the other side of the board of the tournament. I'm like, well, these 2 are going to be the ones that they meet at the end, probably, because there's some people that like talk shit to them in the bar. and those are probably going to be. But look at this. Look at the layout. They actually show you.
I got to buy this comic.
Chris, yeah, you're gonna love. Look at this. Like, so this is the announcers, the necromancer guy, and like they look at this Sun and Steel, Orangabang, Pizza Party. Like, so he makes them all these fun like tag teams, and he has like their bios of like where they're from. And like, you know what I mean? Like it's just the funnest comic out there right now. I have so much fun reading this. The art's fantastic. This is a hell of an issue. And then you get this awesome wrestling match between the orangutans and them. And her father gets his ass handed to him, and then he has to like tag her in. And then she comes in the ring and does a moonsault off of the top rope. You gotta see it, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna show you the art here in a second. It's crazy. She does like a crazy ass backflip off the top, man. It was like right there. Yeah. Like it was awesome. And then, you know, they end up winning, and then their next match competitors or these guys are called like Knights of the Round Table or something, and like they have some move that's called King Arthur's Court or something like that. And like these dudes right here. So like you saw them you've seen a little bit of their match after they ended up winning. They were able to spectate some of theirs, and these guys look like they could be trouble for them as their next opponent. So yeah. You know, I just love it. I love it. Every issue seems to get better because of the fact that this was the issue that had the most wrestling in it and the most action so far. I got to give this a 5. 5.
Oh, nice.
This was super fun. This was super fun, and it's probably consistently one of the best things I've been. Don't be surprised if this doesn't make my list somewhere at the end of the year when we do those awards that we're talking about. So yeah, it's a hell of a comic. And yeah, man, if you can track down the issues or you need some help there, Chris, I think you should check this one out or pick up the trade when it comes out. You're gonna love this one. I really do think so. It's a hell of a lot of fun. So all right. So next up we got, let's see here, the Silver Coin. This is another book I really, really enjoy. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned, this is a book also, though, it's an anthology. So you get different writers writing different stories. And, you know, as a result, it's sort of a mixed bag. You can't always think that every issue is going to be the best. There might be something that you don't love, somebody's story or take on something you know that isn't as good as the others. The last 2 issues of the series have probably been my favorite issues to date of the series. Like I remember the last couple of issues that I've talked about here on the show, really loving. This issue, not so much the case. There was some dialogue issues I felt with some of the characters in this one, particularly. Johnny Christmas was the writer of this issue, and Johnny Christmas is mostly known as an artist, so I don't know if this is like an early writing job for him. I think he's written other things, but I don't feel that he's the strongest writer. At least I didn't think it came off very well with a lot of the dialogue with the characters in this one. Basically, in this one, it's it's about like 2 young parents, I guess, like that. Like this guy impregnates this girl, and you know he doesn't want her to have the kid, and you know she ends up having the baby, and they're in some really bad like abusive relationship. It seems like this guy's an asshole, and she's at the phone booth yelling at him because he's gone off and he's basically left her, and he's like, oh yeah, that kid ain't mine, trust me, it's not. And he's like dealing with all these other women that she knows, and she's on the phone yelling with him. They get into a huge argument, and then as you can see, like shit just started coming out of like the phone. She ends up finding like the coin like in the actual like where the change comes out in the phone booth, and then like the stuff just starts coming out and like I don't know, like devouring her. It's weird. And then she has this weird trippy vision of her baby like coming out like this weird looking like this thing. It's pretty crazy. It's really hideous, like, you know what I mean, looking, and it's just like, oh, what the hell. So the art was great. There was some really grotesque imagery and weird stuff going on, but the story itself I felt was pretty weak, like specifically the dialogue. So, they end up getting to a car crash with the father, and then she ends up making it to the hospital, and the baby actually comes out and kills like all of the doctors in the room basically get killed. Like they all get beheaded. Like there's just a bunch of dead bodies lying around the floor at the end of it. But there's all this like really messed up imagery. Like I guess like maybe she's like giving birth to like a demon spawn or something. Who the hell knows, right? It's weird. Like so. But yeah, the way it ended was really creepy too. She's like seeing all the babies like in the delivery room and all this kind of stuff, and there's like this like weird evil baby in there. So the imagery in it was good, the art was good. Michael Walsh, who's the creator of this series and the artist on every issue, did a great job. I thought the writer didn't do that great of a job. This is the backup story too by Adam Gorham, which was also good. So I give it a 3.5 for the art. I thought that the story was weak in this one. It wasn't one of my favorite stories. It is an anthology though, so there's always the next issue. Luckily, if you don't like this one, you'll probably dig the next one. It seems like majority. I don't love anthologies. Majority of the issues of this series have been good though. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and then I got very quickly. X-Men Unlimited, X-Men Green. So this was like a digital first series that's been coming out. Basically, I picked this up because Jerry Duggan, who's writing the main X-Men series, wrote this as well. These were like digital comics that they've been putting out digitally, I guess, on Marvel.com some time ago now. And this was okay. It was like an oversized issue. It's called X-Men Green, I found out, because this story specifically about this girl, Nature Girl, and as you can see here, she like sees a turtle like come onto the land and it ends up dying because it's choking on like a plastic grocery bag that was in the water. So this issue had a lot to do with like environmental type things where she basically, this is like the last straw for her, what happens with that, and she becomes basically a bad guy in this issue, and Wolverine is tasked to like track her down. And it's kind of like, she's kind of going across the country, killing a bunch of like, oil people and like bad people that mess up the environment. So it's like Greenpeace X-Men, essentially, this issue, but she's like actually like killing people. So like she's gone off the rails a little bit. Like she ends up stabbing somebody in the throat, like in a store in this. And it's pretty crazy. She gets like, she empathically like gets to like, her power is like she can connect with animals and things in nature and stuff like that. So she gets this dog to basically be her guard dog and follow her on her journey. And then she leads Wolverine. And you have like a birds moment here where she gets a bunch of birds to attack people. And then you get like Wolverine tracks her down as she comes out of a cage. And so Wolverine has to fucking fight a bear in this, which was pretty cool. So I liked it. There were some good moments in it. But it wasn't the strongest. I wouldn't say like this is essential reading to anything going on in the X-Men books right now, because that's why they did it as a digital first thing. But it wasn't bad. There's only 2 issues. It's this issue, and they have one other one that's going to come out that's this specific story. So I mean, depending on who the creative teams are on these books, I might pick up some of this digital stuff. But probably I'm not looking to pick everything up if that comes out. So yeah, this was okay. Sauron was in this for a moment. That was pretty cool because I haven't seen Sauron from like since the X-Men animated series. I feel like I haven't seen this guy. You remember this guy? The guy who was like the pterodactyl?
Yeah, I remember him, but I haven't seen him in ages.
Right. So the fact that he was in this, I was like, hey, Sauron. I'm like, it seems like somebody destroyed his lab in this. So I don't know if he's going to join the fight in the next issue because it looks like some people messed up his lab pretty bad. And then Black Mamba showed up at the end of the issue. She's the one I think that does all the poison stuff, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So she showed up and she took down Nature Girl by the end of this issue because she was hired by like I think the oil company or something to get her. So I gave it a 3 point. I also give this one a 3.5. It was fine. I like I said, not required reading for any of the X-Men stuff that's going on. But if you like Nature Girl, if you like Jerry Duggan, and even had some good Wolverine moments in it, maybe check this out. So, yeah. All right, next up, DC versus Vampires, All Out War #2. Oh, let's take a look at that cover. Hold up. Mary Marvel, very nice.
Mary Marvel. I am happy she had something to do with the story, so that was good.
Yeah, no,
I'm liking this All Out War 2. I wasn't too keen on the first one, but this one here, I think the story picks up the pace a little bit. I can't speak too much on the details of this. I've read this a while back, but I do remember I liked it, and I like where it's going.
Yeah, so you got over, I guess, the color choice for this series. So I remember it threw you off the first issue, right? You were.
I didn't mind. I think I didn't like the story too much the first time around, or in the first issue. But maybe I just thought I judged it too quickly. I like this one a bit more. I got some more characters coming in. I think some Wonder Woman was in there, and it's just moving it. It's kind of like another battlefield in this DC versus Vampire universe, like got other things going on. It's not just going to be one sort of, I thought in the first, in the main series, that's what they're going to find the resolution there, but they got other stuff going on because they're looking to the Lazarus pits here, right?
Yeah, so what I'm hoping for, which would connect to basically the dilemma that they just ran into in the no, see, I'm getting them mixed up. I'm thinking of Deceased. Never mind. See, I was thinking about how Alfred was feeling bad about killing them, but that was in Deceased.
Yeah.
See, too many of these books out, too many of these alternate timelines, Elseworld stuff. No, I agree with you. I love this issue. I mean, like, again, it has a lot of characters I like it. A Dead Man, Constantine. I love the Mary Marvel moment. That scene was awesome, where she flew through the tunnel and cleared all the dead bodies and shit like that. That was or killed all the vampires. That was crazy. Wonder Woman's trying to track them down. Yeah, some fun stuff. Booster Gold's in this, and then you got there's some good moments in this.
And it looks like they resurrected one of the vampires, right?
Yes,
in the Lazarus pit.
Azrael.
Yeah.
Well, Azrael, he fell in there when Deathstroke went on the mission in the last issue. He ended up falling back in and then ended up fishing him out, and now he's kind of on their side in a sense. Like,
I guess he's not a vampire anymore.
That's right, but he is still undead, though, right? It's weird. So, like, but he's not. Yeah, but because he came back, because Lazarus Pit messes you up too. Like, you don't come back 100%.
Yeah, you don't come back safe. Yeah, you come back a little crazy.
So it's kind of cool. Like, I do like that aspect of it. And I actually think the art with the color scheme actually works in some of these scenes. Like, it does kind of make it more moody, and like, yeah, I like it. I like it. So it is good. So yeah, I like this issue a lot more too. I agree with you. I didn't love the color choice either the first time. It just threw me off. But as its own thing, this book now, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's working a bit better. At least maybe the story is just getting better. You know, I'm not sure what happened at the end. Who was there? Is that like Shazam and Superman or something? In the last page there?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Somebody came out of a portal there. Oh, they came back and scooped up. Dr. Fate came back and scooped up Constantine, and then they ended up blowing up that. What's his name? Sacrificed himself.
Not that part. But there's something there at the end there that.
So I wanted to also mention, though, and show off, the backup story is kind of fleshing out the whole thing with Nightwing now, because I guess now he's being brought into another faction of vampires, and they want him to help take down, like, because they're trying to unite all the vampires, but I guess there's
so that's kind of like how he became the vampire king or whatever they call it.
Right. Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah, the art was great in this too. Yeah, I really liked this. I was like, this is actually some nice, like, sharp looking art, like, in this story. I was like, yeah, it's actually not that bad. I actually like the backup, and I don't like a lot of backups. I thought this was good so far. I thought so far so good with the Nightwing one. Yeah, so good stuff. Yeah, no. So what'd you give this one?
I give it a 3.75, closing it on a 4, but 3.75.
I give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. Next
I
up,
might have read it too long ago, but I do remember really liking it.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me, and you're like, I actually like this a lot better than the first. Because I remember when you thought it was only 3 when we first talked about the first one. You're like, 6. You're like, oh, I don't know about that. Because I'm like, no, man, it's 6. And you kept saying that, and you kept forgetting it was 3. It was not 3. You're like, oh, fuck.
I'm down for 6 now, let's say.
All right. Next up, Harley Quinn, number 20, which is the 3rd issue, I guess, in the ongoing monthly event, I guess, if you want to call it that. Task Force X Part 3. There you go. What'd you think of this one, Chris?
Let's see. I wrote some notes for this one because I didn't really need to write too much, but I'm just wishing they went with a more impactful story for this weekly arc. You know, like, it sounds like they're trying to do something special with this, and it just turns out to be a lot of fluff. That's about it. You know, it's a nice story with this, whatever, this Element X or, you know, doing what it does, but I was hoping that they would do, you know, like, kind of do something good with this. I'm not liking Harley in this story so much, you know, it just seems annoying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the jokes weren't landing in this issue. I really hate the fact that you pointed out that I didn't really realize at first somehow that what's her name is on part of the team, the one she literally just beat the arc before, which really kind of even it makes that other arc feel like not even, because I really liked that last arc a lot. And then, like, the fact that she's part of this team as, like, some sort of Suicide Squad
like a good opponent for Harley Quinn. But now if they're friends just talking together, come on.
I get what they're going for, because it is like a task force, like, where they would get villains. Like, that part of it is interesting, but like, you couldn't have done that somewhere down the line. Like, it had to be literally issue to issue, and then she's already back. Like, it was
too soon.
Right. That's my main problem with it. It's not like they waited a few months and then, oh, she's back and now she's part of this. Okay, yeah, fine. But like, this is like issue to issue. And like it ended, she got picked up and then she's just part of this team going into space. Yeah. I was like, what? I didn't even notice that at first. And I don't love this. I mean, this artist is fine. Here's the thing. There's nothing inherently bad about this story. It's just so basic. Like, it's so basic that, like, I'm just not, like, interested in this. And I'm just like...
Yeah, like when they said, Harley, or, whatever, it's going weekly. I thought, they're coming to put together a decent story about something, something impactful, something that's going to, change the history of Harley Quinn, but nothing. And they're all running around in spacesuits the whole time, too.
It's basically Alien, though. It's like basically like Alien, like this type of story. And now that's not like, what's that?
And why can they breathe sometimes, and sometimes they need their helmet when they're in there? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's actually, that's an insult to Alien. Never mind. I'll take it back. Yeah. It's not even Alien. Alien's way better, but yeah.
The Harley Quinn's got a good cover, though. That's for sure.
Oh, nice cover. Who's that? That Inyuk Sue Lee, or what's her name? Or I forgot her name.
No, this is like I don't know, Derek Chu or something.
Oh, Derek Chu. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah.
I don't know, but a lot of work went in there. This is a freaking every version of Harley looks like she's up there.
That's a sweet ass cover. Nice one.
At least I got that going for it.
Yeah. What'd you get?
That's for next week. I haven't read it yet, so I can't. No spoilers.
The cover I think I also have a variant cover for the next one. I think it's the Killing Joke homage one. I think I have for Harley next week. But of course, I don't get my books early like Chris here does. So
I don't either. I just happen to have that cover handy.
That's right. Sorry, I take it back.
If this was a better series, I'd be freaking picking up all these covers because I did want that Killing Joke homage cover as well. And I'm glad I didn't buy it because, like, I don't mind buying multiple covers of good stories.
A series you like, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
multiple covers of freaking dumb stories. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't mind getting ripped off, but come on, at least tickle me.
Yeah. So what'd you give this one?
3.
Yeah, same. Yeah. All right, next up we got Avengers 1 Million BC #1, Chris, which I actually wanted to read, but I didn't read it in time because there was like 14 other books.
You're gonna read it. It's not bad.
I think I will.
Bad, though.
Yeah,
I got a variant cover here, but I don't know.
Oh, nice. Not bad. I like it. Yeah.
It's a lot better than I thought. Like, I was reading all this stuff about it basically deals with the birth of Thor. And I think in other previous stories, they're saying that the Phoenix Force was somehow Thor's mother, and it wasn't really Gaia, the goddess of Earth, which I thought was freaking just crazy. And I really didn't like the way where they were going with that. And in this one here, they sort of explain it all out. Where do I have it there? Yeah, so we get the story of the birth of Thor, much better than I expected. I was dreading I thought there's some sort of retcon coming with Phoenix Force being his mother, but they put it together in a decent story of how and why she was involved. I'll leave it at that. So I'll read it up. It's good. It's a nice, sort of, whatever those not an epic tale, but like, those stories about like myths and mythology, nothing big going on, but everything just works together. But they still throw in whatever the 10 rings or like, because basically these are all the prime forces of Earth. You got Odin,
Iron Fist. Yeah,
the Iron Fist. Yeah, somehow the Iron Fist is getting squeezed in there. They're trying to freaking inhumanize them or something. But
the main reason I know that is because Jason Aaron had started this BC stuff from the start of his Avengers run. So this has been throughout the series. Every now and then he's been doing bits and pieces of this storyline of the Avengers back then. Like, we haven't really been given all at once or like a one big huge storyline about it, but it's been throughout his run. He's talked about some of this stuff. So I have read some of this BC stuff already, like in previous stuff that he did in Avengers. But I guess it's going to be making a return in a big way to this final arc, essentially, for the series.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why.
Odin's in here. Odin's a goofball. Like,
he's a dick.
He taught for the Phoenix Force in there, or wherever the Phoenix is.
Yeah.
And, they kind of, I guess there's something that they've protected the Earth from, and they all kind of go their separate ways. So Odin's back in Asgard, and he calls them all together. There's a big emergency, so everybody kind of drops what they're doing, comes in, and he goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "Oh, wait till everybody gets here, then I'll tell you." And then once, Phoenix shows up, he goes, "Oh, this is your wedding, Phoenix. I'm going to marry you." And she's like, "What the fuck? Get out of here!" And then hilarity ensues from there.
Yeah.
But it's still a good story. It was a fun, like, mythological type of story. I liked it. Good. I'll give it a 4. It's much better than I thought. I thought it was going to be total garbage.
Yeah, like a cash grab of sorts. Yeah,
like, Phoenix is now the mother. Where.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because I think I am going to read this. I just didn't have time because there were so many other books, but I do want to jump on and read the last arc of Avengers with you, like, even if I read it digitally, because I am interested to see how it ends, right? So I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, from what I understand, the Avengers, kind of this storyline with the League of Mephistos, I think it's all coming to a head in November, December, maybe January. Then it should be all over. So
okay, all right,
it'll come together now.
And then speaking of Avengers, we got Savage Avengers number 4.
Savage Avengers.
I dropped this. Chris, you continued with this. What did you think of this issue?
You dropped this at 3 or 2?
3. I saw the Miles reveal at the end of the last issue. I did
bought this one.
Fuck. It did look interesting when I was reading it. Like when I was putting the art together. I love the art in this series, though. The art there's a lot of great scenes when I was putting the art together. So you liked it, eh? Okay, go on.
Well, I don't want to say I liked it. Big things go on in here. Like, I don't know, spoiler warning, whatever. Conan dies because they have to lose Conan. You remember how we're always wondering how Conan's still going to be around? I don't know if he's going to be around in the next issues or not.
Probably not.
But the way they killed him, though, like, I want to see, like, if they're going to kill him, they should, like, chop off his head where he's dead, not, like, hit him with a sword or something. And then, the next panel, Conan the Cimmerian is dead. He's not. Like, you never know. I guess they want to kind of leave it open, I guess, if they get the rights back in the future or something.
As they should. Yeah, Conan's, you don't want to see Conan go out, like, you know what I mean? Like,
but if you're going to go out, freaking, I guess you don't want him to go out in Savage Avengers. They should have killed him at the end of Conan the King or something. But anyway, but the stuff going on with Miles here, like, they have a story in the future with Riri Williams and Miles, I guess, like, large, like, I guess higher up or longer in the future, because Miles is sort of an adult here, and I guess Annihilus or Dr. Octopus.
Annihilus. Annihilus.
Dr. Octopus opens up a Forever Gate, or makes a Forever Gate, and he brings Annihilus in to come and destroy Earth for whatever reasons. Dr. Octopus, that's what he does. And Miles has to go. He goes through the Forever Gate to prevent Annihilus from coming in. And in doing so, he has to sacrifice himself, and he dies. So I don't know if this is just a story that's part of this, or if this is something that's been going on in some of the Miles stories, or if this is known already or not. But I don't think so. So Miles dies, and then when you see Deathlock, he kind of, I guess I don't want to say he outwits us, but the programming from wherever it comes from stops. So Deathlock becomes more of himself, let's say. And then he starts using a lot of the phrases that Miles was using when he went to kill or to sacrifice himself for.
So do you think Miles?
For Annihilus. So basically, I don't know. I read in previews or whatever, like, and all the Google stuff.
Yeah.
Is that Miles is Deathlock somehow, and that's okay. I think that's what they're leaning to, because like he's saying, when he puts his mask on, he goes, okay, it's, I don't know, he does some tagline saying, masks on, time to fight. And then now that Deathlock, the whatever overriding programming to kill the Cimmerian has been disrupted,
right?
And then whatever, Deathlock is okay, time to mask up and get to business, let's say, whatever the line is.
That sounds good, man. That sounds like there's some interesting things going on. You weren't lying.
Yeah, so it is interesting. And then, in the solicitation I read, they're going back into the 2099 timeline. So things are looking up for Savage Avengers. They weren't looking too good in the first couple issues, but they're looking up. You might want to read this one online, before you get to your story.
Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I will.
See if it's worth a pickup or not.
It does sound interesting. I didn't like how it started, but it sounds like I like where it's going right now. So yeah, maybe. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 3.75.
Okay. All right, next up, we got crossover 3D special number 1. Hold up, guys. Hold up.
Oh, it came with the glasses. Nice. Wait, you open the package? Come on. You couldn't even open that. You already know what the story is. You got to keep that stuff sealed.
I know I should have. So the value's gone down already on it. But I will say there was an 8-page story that was new in this one, but it had nothing to do with crossover because stupid me, apparently I didn't realize that the series is over. The last issue I talked about, apparently, or they're taking a break. I don't know what's going on with it because that's what I heard. I heard someone talking about this book saying, oh, it's over. And I was trying to get confirmation of this online. And then I guess in the solicits, it said this, the last issue, it said, oh, yeah, this is the conclusion of the story. And the way that it ended, I'm like, you could take that as an ending. But when I talked about it on the show here, I didn't even know it was the last issue. So I didn't even talk about it in that sense, like being like, oh, this was the last issue. So I think it was a great series. I hope it comes back. I'm pretty sure it will because I'm pretty certain it was a pretty successful series. This had like an 8-page new story in it. Which really, guys, it is like $8 comics. Is it worth picking up? If you're going to keep it sealed and want to keep it as like you had every other issue and this is like you wanted this as part of your run, and like Chris said, if you want to just keep it sealed, yeah, it's worth picking up. But in terms of like if you wanted to pick up and read like an 8-page story that's really good, it was not worth it. Like it was like an 8-page story that was about Donny Cates' wife, who's actually an artist on another book that's out right now from Vault Comics called Rock Stars. In this, she basically, because in a crossover they broke the fourth wall like a lot with actually putting themselves into the comic and all this kind of stuff. So it had this scene where she like walked in on Donny Cates. She's like, oh hey, I'm gonna write that story, that 8-page story for that crossover issue. Do you have time to talk it out and we'll work it out and I'll illustrate it because she's an artist. And he's like working away and he's like, yeah, I got no time for that. Go ask that other guy, Matthew Rosenberg, who's also a writer, right, in comics. So, and I guess they're all friends. So he came in and it was kind of like one of those like fourth wall breaking things where like he was kind of like talking to her and they were talking to each other about trying to do the story and
that was the story then.
Basically, yeah. Nice. And then they gave you some, they were able to promote their other things they had working on because he's got a book that's called What's the Furthest Place from Here through Image Comics right now, Matthew Rosenberg. And in that book, like there's like a bunch of dark, it's a dark book and it's got like teenagers in it. And it's like a post-apocalyptic book. So like Donny Cates is like, really? You got Rosenberg to write that story? He's like, all he knows how to do is write depressed dark teenagers or something. It was just like, so again, it was like a lot of inside baseball type, like fun jokes. If you know these creators and you like their work, you might get something out of it. But for me, it was just like, yeah, it was fine. It had nothing to do with crossover though, like at all. Like it had nothing to do with the story. I had nothing. But the cool thing is the effects really worked well with the art in this. I got to say, I did read through it. I was looking at, there were some scenes that popped out really effectively. I thought that worked well with the 3D glasses. So shout out to crossover. That's all I want to say about it. I'm not going to give it a rating because it's old material for the most part. And like I said, the 8-page issue, like whatever, I'll give it if you want, like a 4 because of the glasses.
Yeah, just give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up with the glasses. So there you go. There you go, guys. But it's cool. It's cool. They actually say crossover on the back. It's kind of neat. So
nice. I like it. Yeah. I'm all for that fucking sort of. I'm surprised I didn't get hustled into that.
Yeah, I like those gimmicks sometimes, these type of things. It's fun. They don't do these type of things so often anymore.
Right? If I went to a store where they sold comics, on the rack, I would have bought that freaking no problem.
Yeah. So next up, we got Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler. So this is the first of a series of 8. Apparently, they're coming out from now till March. All different creative teams, artists and writers on these books. So they're focusing on one villain each issue, and it's supposed to be like the take on Batman Killing Joke. The whole thing about Joker saying one bad day could basically push a man to the edge, and that's all you need to basically become like basically what he turned into, the Joker. Essentially, that's what he's trying to say, right? So just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pull up the art for this one because I don't have it ready. All right, so Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler #1. Here's some of the art. So Mitch Gerrard's the artist that worked on this with Tom King. They've worked on a lot together. Like this is like he's exclusively worked with Tom King at DC over the last few years. Like they're a good team together, this artist-writer team. But yeah, as you can see, if you look at Riddler there, he's got the green over his eyes, kind of like, I guess if you were to put on the mask, it's kind of like the Batman had the black on his eyes in the new Batman. Yeah. It's kind of like the same type of thing. Now, I don't think he's he's exactly looks like or acts like the Riddler from the
Okay,
movie.
that's a plus.
Yes, but to what your point was earlier about them inserting some stuff into the mythos possibly of these characters, in this, when he's interrogating him, Gordon here, almost like basically the same setup of Batman killing Joke as when Batman's interrogating the Joker at the start of it, almost like it's the same type of deal, but it's Gordon with the Riddler. And the Riddler insinuates that, you think that the Joker is the one that basically went and did what he did with Barbara, like his daughter, in killing Joke? He's like, I'm the one that put that idea into his head and put that into motion. So they're trying to say the Riddler is the one that basically pushed Joker.
Yeah, he's the brains behind the whole.
Exactly. He's the mastermind.
Get out.
Okay, so
I'm out now.
Yeah, I was not that much of a fan of that either. But what I was trying to say earlier is when you said that, when they just insert things like that, sometimes it's interesting because like Gordon's like sitting there, like, I'm like, you can't, like, most readers could read this scene and be like, nah, he's just trying to get in his head, right? You know what I mean? Like, he could just be talking shit, but who knows, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like that, I do like when it's not clear, like better than like, this is fact, like this is how it went. But the fact that they even put that out there, yeah, I get it. It's not the best, but yeah, anyways, they went and they gave you the past history of the Riddler, how his like father was like abusive and like beat him, and he was like the headmaster at some school, and it was one of these things where like if he didn't get like 100%, he would like beat him with the fucking cane across the back, right, like on the ass there, and like and I guess the way he was raised, like he has to be this smartest person in the room at all times, and like everyone expects the most out of him, and it gets into, and then there was a teacher in his school when he was attending the school where his father was the headmaster, who on the test, at the end of the test, he would throw in a riddle, and it said, riddle me this on them. And he couldn't wrap his head around the riddles, and he couldn't figure them out because his brain didn't work that way, because the way he studied for these tests, he just knew the text.
Yeah, it was all fact.
Right. So the teacher, when he came to him after the test, because he didn't get perfect because he screwed up on this riddle because it was with extra points or something like that, and he's like, why would you do that? Like, they're like, why would you put those there? Like, I can't study for these riddles. Like, there's no way for me. He's like, that's right. I want you to be able to think, use your brain in other ways, right? He's trying to explain that to him, right? And he's just like, no, like it doesn't work that way. Like, he can't wrap his head around it. So, like, I think it kind of touches on, like, maybe the reason why it drove him to the insanity of becoming that person that he is, because of this real riddle thing. And he ends up stealing the answers to the test and figuring out, like, what the riddle answer was. And then last minute, the teacher changed his mind on what riddle he was going to put in there. So he put the answer to the riddle that he didn't even actually have on the test. Yeah. So then the teacher knew he was cheating. And he ended up confronting him about it. And he said, listen, I'm going to have to tell your father. I'm like, he's the headmaster. And knowing what was going to happen, like the shit that was going to happen to him from the father, because he was abusive, he basically ended up killing the teacher at like a young age. Right. So it's kind of like of an origin of sorts of how he became the Riddler in this one. And I guess, again, hence the theme, the one bad day, right? But there's some dark fucking scenes. As you can see, this guy ended up getting this guy to kill himself in the cell beside him in Arkham, I guess, in this scene. But the art was fantastic. I think Miss Jared's is
probably, the art was great there.
It was probably the best work I think he's done in a great career with Tom King, like working together. This is probably the best thing I think he's ever done in terms of like what I've seen from him. Like this was fantastic. But yeah, there's some brutal scenes. There's some brutal fucking scenes. Like, so it is dark. But again, he does it in the way where he tricks everybody because he's smarter than them, and he manipulates people and he gets in their heads and this kind of thing, right? But again, that's a Joker too, right? So it's not anything new in that sense, right? I like my Riddler a little bit more wackier for sure, but yeah, great art, good story, good issue, and I think this is one of the ones worth checking out. Overall, I did enjoy it. I give this also a 4.25.
Yeah. I do remember having those riddles at the end of a test. I remember 2 of them, and I got them both wrong. Maybe I can become the Riddler too.
That's right.
They're so stupid though too. I don't know if you want to explain them. One was, when you open the fridge, why do your feet get cold? And the second one is, why does some shit sink and why does some shit float? I know both answers now. I didn't know them at the time.
Do you know?
Well, you open the fridge, it's your feet are cold because freaking cold air drops and hot air rises.
Right. Okay, yeah,
And
okay.
then
So
some shit stinks and some shit floats because if you eat a lot of fiber, it floats. You eat freaking red meat, and that's it. It sinks.
but that's the point of those
Buoyancy.
questions, right? Is to get you
Yeah,
to
that's
think
what it was, Rob.
buoyancy. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
might turn into, this could be one bad day right now for me.
yeah. One bad podcast, one bad
Well, one
episode
bad
of
podcast. You heard it here first. If you're in the big smoke and there's some bad things going on, don't come my way.
Yeah, there you go. Watch out, guys. And then next up, we got Firepower. I actually got this Jay Lee cover, which I'll show off here. I got a different one here. This is really great. So yeah, that's a great cover right there.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this was just another great issue with dragons, man. I mean, like I said, Chris Somney, this whole last arc has had this dragon in it that they've been fighting. I think his art has been destroying it in these dragon scenes. Just awesome looking dragons. The art, Chris Somney, who's a great artist, probably some of the best art every week these issues come out that we talk about on the show, at least for me. And yeah, he's just killing it on this book. Like I think like anything that has the dragon in it, I think has been great. In this issue, though, this is the issue where they do finally take down the dragon. And at the end of the day, they end up having to fight that snake guy. The guy who's like made of snakes that they've been fighting along with this dragon right now. So he sent the dragon after him. They took him down. And then all who was left was standing at the end of this was the snake guy. I will say that the story, though, was lacking in this. There's always a lot of action in these books, these issues that come out. Sometimes they read too fast as a result, but there was also mixed in sometimes a lot of good character moments, which you didn't really get in this one. This was just like full on great art and dragon moments of him fighting the dragon, which again, I have no problem with that. Just I think that the story was just less than what it normally is, but that's the story they were telling in this one. So yeah,
Can I ask you a question about the story here?
Yeah,
was it the family that took down the dragon, or just the firepower guy?
Firepower guy, the father. Yeah,
so the family stayed away.
Remember, I told you he had to tell the kids not to get involved.
Yeah, I thought they might, creep back and
they might still.
We all got to hold hands and shoot a giant fireball or something.
They might still, because they're learning how to shoot fireballs right now, right? But
I know, but I thought they might come back in and
look at this.
I'm glad they didn't.
And me too. Look at this. Look at this art, man. It's awesome. Yeah, right. So, but yeah, this is the big boy leagues. These kids couldn't get involved. I agree with you. It would have been hokey if they fucking rolled up here and done this. So yeah, there's the snake guy at the end there. So yeah, I give this I mean, geez, I'm gonna give it a 4 just based on the art. Like I said, there wasn't much story here, but it's great. It's a fun series. I always enjoy reading it, and the art was great. All right, Chris.
So is that the end of the series or the end of the story?
No, end of this. No, I think it still has one more, because there's still the final showdown between him and the snake guy. It's getting to the end of the arc. I think he said in the letters column, but not at the end of the series. Still going. So yeah, it's great. All right, Chris. Nightwing 95. What'd you think of this one? This one I read digitally because my copy wasn't there for whatever reason. All right, sorry, actually I forgot to grab it, so that's my fault.
Yep, got the same copy there. Boom! I'm loving this Nightwing stuff.
Great issue. Yeah,
it's a nice, it's a nice street level story. Nothing big going on. We got Nightwing trying to clean up Bloodhaven, and everybody's sort of move and counter move. Nightwing thinks he's got them, and then whatever with Blockbuster, he returns the favor and he tries to flex some muscle in there. Mm-hmm. I like when they kind of try and bring all the heroes there. Was it the Teen Titans, I guess, or the Titans now?
Some of the Batman
they bring them into the story to try and kind of, I guess, throttle Blockbuster's crime spree, get everybody together, and then Blockbuster goes, "Hey, don't worry, I got a plan for this." The only thing I didn't like at the end is where his mask flies off. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but
no, I have the art here. Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah, I have the art for it. Yeah, so Blockbuster throws him down after he beats the shit out of him, like Kingpin style, at the end of this issue, and
raining down the fence like gorilla style.
Yeah, he gets revealed that it's Dick Grayson, which Blockbuster didn't know. So like that was the end of it. You don't like though how his like little mask flew off.
He's his little freaking glasses fly off. It's like, oh, I take my glass off. Hey, I'm a different person. Come on.
Yeah.
But
well,
comics. Okay, I'll buy it. I buy it. Yeah. I buy it. But I do like that. I like the story.
Yeah, I agree with you. Great issue. I thought it really came together. Yeah, there's a scene there. I thought it really came together, like this whole story about corruption in the police force in Bloodhaven and how Blockbuster's working with Marconi, the crime lord there in Bloodhaven, and I liked it. I mean, it's been a great story, and I think this really all the pieces kind of came together in this issue, and And yeah, it was a good street level kind of storyline, like you said, in terms of them versus corruption and crime in the city, and all the heroes coming together. I love that scene when the Titans and LF showed up.
And I do like when that informant or whatever, the guy that thought he had the plan there to save himself, he gets shot.
Yes.
And he gets shot and killed.
Yeah, the police
chief. Not that I'm a violent person or whatever. They didn't just karate chop him or something. It's like Blockbuster wanted to know how you do, what you do.
Because he was trying to buy himself.
Not what he wanted to see. Boom.
Because he said he's like, oh yeah, listen, I'll give you these documents if you want.
I'm ready to sing like a bird. I just need full immunity. He goes, well, that's what Blockbuster wanted here. And once I saw that scene, go, wow, this is good. I love it.
Yes, agreed. And that's the way the book opened up, really. Yeah. And I like too how they touched on the whole thing with Batwoman almost mirroring the cop there.
Yeah, the one from Metropolis.
Which happened in the DC New 52. Now, the funny thing about that is fucking DC's the ones that put the ixnay on that move, because I guess it was lesbians being in love. I don't know. Or maybe the fact they just didn't want...
Too risque for the day.
Right. Or they just didn't want... Because there was writers that were writing the book at the time that were really pushing for that. And to begin with, people marrying in comics and superhero comics is never really, they don't really love that anyway. Yeah. So who's to say if it was for that reason or not? But they just put a stop to that. So the fact that they actually mentioned that in this, and like they tried to make Tom Taylor tried to work it into her storyline, being like, "Oh, it was a mistake I made." I was like, "Yeah, not really," because at the time it went out in the news where it was just like DC's like putting the kibosh on this whole plan, right? So yeah, what can you do? But I do like Batwoman, so I was happy to see her as well in this. So yeah, it's good. So what'd you give this one?
4.25. I hate to like Nightwing, but I freaking do. I swear I don't like Nightwing, but the comic is just freaking delivering. It's hitting it.
I agree with you. I also give it a 4.25. Yeah, really great issue. This is good. I actually remember we didn't like the last issue though. That was weak. Remember when that woman got revealed as the undercover one? That one wasn't great, but otherwise it's been really, really great so far. The last few issues. So, all right, and lastly, Iron Cat number 3. Very nice. Yeah, I read this one.
Cover.
Read this one digitally, but yeah, I read it too. What do you think of this?
I'm loving it. Loving Iron Cat. I'm loving Black Cat personally. Maybe I'm just reading too much Black Cat recently, but this is just still pushing it on. And let's see. Still enjoying this series. Wasn't too keen at the beginning with the Tony Stark and Felicia Hardy team up, but like I say, it just keeps on delivering. It started out with a fight between, whatever, two teammates, friends, lovers, whatever you want to call them. And, at the end, it turns out to a threat to a total Stark meltdown. It's like it's gone global. Unfortunately, the only downside I have to say is that this could have been all resolved with, just a little tete-a-tete or a little conversation between these two people. But, what are you going to do? It's comics again.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this issue as well. Like, I liked how she got back into the Iron Man suit, like her Iron Man suit in this. And I liked how Tony, pulled some of his usual shenanigans with having all of the people as LMDs that she thought that she crashed in on, and she thought they were actual people, but then they turned out to be LMDs that all turned around and attacked them. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the art was great in this book. I like the Black Cat too, man. As you know, I'm a big fan of and Jed McKay. I think this is just another great installment, and it was a good issue. So overall, I think
stuff with Iron Man figuring how the hell did you get this suit again? Because that was a surprise to him. So it's always fun seeing Black Cat outsmart Tony Stark. He's supposed to be a man genius or whatever.
Right. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. So what'd you give it?
I'll give this easy 4.25. I don't want to push it too far because it wasn't super great, but I'm loving the story.
I'll give it a 4. It was good. Yeah, I like this as well. So, and speaking of Black Cat, that's our last new issue that came out this week that we're going to talk about, guys. But just a quick minute here for Chris, bringing back the recent reads category here. Chris wanted to mention the fact that he has been reading Black Cat lately. He went back.
Yeah, I got a couple. I got a bunch of these thanks to a generous benefactor. We got Black Cat. What's this? Hold on. Yeah, Grand Theft Marvel. Love the title. And then there's a second book. Yeah, Black Cat on the Run. First one, it was good. It was a good read. Nothing too memorable. This one here, you got Black Cat teaming up with Patch. And there's some good stuff between Black Cat and Patch. Deadpool shows up. You know, I think the big line is, oh, whatever, Wolverine, you're older than dirt. And then, you know, somebody steals all of Patch's stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, Black Cat helps him get that stuff back to get a picture. I know it's all leading up to a bigger story later on that I'm sort of familiar with. And I'm loving that stuff.
Yeah, so Chris has been going back and reading the Jed McKay trade paperbacks that are out for Black Cat. I think there's about 5 or 6, I think, in total, right? 6 maybe. And then there's also going to be this Iron Cat volume that's once that's collected, this current miniseries. And they just announced in 2023 they're going to be bringing out a Black Cat omnibus, Black Cat by Jed McKay omnibus, which collects all these series that have come out, all the miniseries that he's done with as Jed McKay as the writer for Black Cat, which is all great stuff. So yeah, that's why I felt it was worth mentioning, because you said you've read that recently. And I was like,
this Jed McKay, I know, like, he might be my writer of the year, or whatever you want to call it, like, or a writer. Yeah. He's taken a lot of, I don't want to say like B-level characters and just freaking elevating them.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like you go to the A-level character and keeping it up there or elevating that, but take a B-level character and make them nice. I think that's just great.
That's what you need to do, though, right? Especially when you start out at somewhere like a Marvel or DC. Like, that's usually the gigs that they'll only give you at the start. It's more of like the B, C list type people, and then you got to make the best story you can out of those characters, right? And if you deliver,
toys, you make them play and see what you can do, and freaking
exactly.
And now I guess since they give him Tony Stark, they're getting some faith in him or something.
Yeah. Sorry, they're giving him Tony Stark. What do you?
Well, you know, in Iron Cat, they get him.
Okay.
Tony Stark there.
Okay, I thought he was going to be the new writer on it or something.
No.
I didn't hear about it. Okay. All right. So that's it in terms of things that we've read recently. Very quickly, because we are running long, maybe we'll just do the Marvel this week, or then do the DC next week. You want to do that, or what do you want to do?
Whatever. Yeah, we can all spread them out.
Okay.
Solicitations are always fun.
Yeah, so we're going to go over the new Marvel solicitations that just dropped yesterday, actually, for November 2022. As always, like, we like to go over these solicits, let you guys know ahead of time what we're thinking of picking up, what looks interesting. So let me just pull that up on the screen here. 1 second. And so we're going to go over the Marvel solicits for you guys here. And then next week we'll do DC and like any other smaller publisher type stuff. Yeah. Just because it was a huge week this week, we're running long, so we'll do just Marvel today. So yeah, shout out once again to this website. I do enjoy using them for the solicits. This is comicreleases.com, and they always do a really good job of putting these together. So shout out to this website. All right, got the Marvel previews up here. Finally, just got it loaded. And first up, we got Avengers Assemble Alpha #1. So I guess you'll be picking this one up, Chris.
I'm trying. Yes, yeah, I'm picking that up.
This is Jason Aaron.
I thought you were talking about All Out Avengers.
No. This is Jason Aaron's wrap up.
Yeah, I'm picking that up for sure, 100%.
Yeah. I'll be reading this too. Maybe I'll even pick it up if I don't read it digitally, because I do want to read this. So yeah, so there you go. This is Avengers Assemble Alpha #1. And yeah, uniting the Avengers Forever, and Avengers 1 million BC in an epic saga that forms the capstone to Jason Aaron's era on Avengers. This is everything now. He's bringing all his,
right?
This is a one shot. Yes, this is a 56 page one shot, $5.99. Yeah, that's Avengers Assemble Alpha. So yeah, I'll check that out. Then you got Avengers Forever 11. 12, I think, is the last one. So yeah, 11, you're still in for that, Chris. That's Ghost Rider, right, I'm guessing.
Full cover.
Yeah. And then Avengers 62.
Yep, still down for that.
This is History's Mightiest Heroes Conclusion, which I'm sure you'll be happy about. You haven't really been liking the current reimaginings of everybody, right? Every issue, yeah. So this one you're out on. You said All Out Avengers. You're not reading that.
I think I might be in for #2, but
oh, interesting.
Fuck, I could be in for #1. I don't want to be.
Okay.
Why? Well, I like this Greg Land or whatever. I love his art.
Oh, really?
I'm not covers.
Yeah.
And all I know is the second one, you got Dr. Doom carrying the shield.
Oh,
carrying Captain America's shield. So I might have to see where this goes. If I got time to order it, I might get it.
Yeah. And we got Amazing Spider-Man 14.
Starting down for that.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting artists on this issue. Michael Dowling, Kyle Hotz. Those are names I don't see all too often. Oh, so is that the new suit? That looks like the new suit right there, eh?
No, that's the Chasm.
Oh, that's him. Oh, you didn't notice Dark Web. Oh, this is a Dark Web issue. Okay. Yeah. There he is. I see. We haven't seen him in a while, so I wasn't sure. Oh, yeah, Chasm. Yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. Okay, Venom 13. You're still with
Yeah,
this?
still good. Still good for
This
that.
is this is a dark web prelude. So it looks like all the dark web's starting in November. It looks like,
Yeah.
right? So, okay. What the hell is this? Now, this is the first time you said you've already looked at this list. I haven't seen these lists yet. Gold Goblin, 1 of
Yeah, I'm
5.
passing on that, I think. It's a
Christopher.
Norman Osborn story.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass too. I do like Christopher Cantwell though. I mean, he's the guy who does Iron Man. And
I'll read it online for sure, but
yeah, maybe I'll check out the first issue digitally, and if I'm interested, I'll keep up with it because I don't know about this. Yeah, is this in current? Like, is this current?
Yeah, I think well, because Norman Osborn's a good guy now. He's been cleansed of his sins, I guess, from that Kindred stuff.
And now
And, he's part of the story now, so maybe Spider-Man doesn't take a suit. Like, even still with the Amazing Spider-Man, you don't know it's Peter Parker inside that suit. That could be Norman Osborn in there.
Yeah, you've been saying.
But anyway, yeah, this Gold Goblin, I'm at like 50% for that.
Yeah, same. This I'm totally on board though for the relaunch of Fantastic Four. I'm
into this first issue.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. I haven't read too much by Ryan North, but the people that do like his work seem to be really excited by this, and it sounds like it's a good fit for his writing. This doing the Fantastic Four, so I'm gonna check this out. I'm always good to check out a Fantastic Four book. Whether or not I stick with it's a different story. But
yeah, from what I've read, I think they're like kind of just separating out the stories. Like the first one's about the Thing, the second one might be about Storm, and the third one might be about Mr. Fantastic. Like that's from what I hear. I could be wrong, but some sick covers on this though.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the covers. Alex Ross, of course.
Yeah.
I believe that's an Alex Ross, or that one actually.
I think that might be the cover I'm getting. There's a Frank Miller cover there, was supposed to be a big deal. I don't know if it's or not.
So the first one I think was one of them is J. Scott Campbell, and then you do got a Frank Miller. Yeah, it's Frank Miller's first work for Marvel. They were saying in like 20 years or since Daredevil.
Yeah, but it's a crappy cover though.
Yeah, I mean it's Frank Miller. Frank Miller's not so great now. There's an Art Adams one. That's a nice one. Thing. That's a pretty cool cover. I might get that one actually if that's not a crazy one of.
I think the Thing is featured in the first couple issues.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably gonna pick that up. Oh, the Frank Miller one is also yeah, like I mean his art, he's weird artist art style, but it is still him though, so that's cool.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I'm down for reading this. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with Fantastic Four. But like I'm continuing with the current run for sure because they got the last couple issues of the Axe tie-ins, and we'll see where this one goes.
Yeah, but I knew it was coming just because Slott left, and it's better to relaunch it. I think so. Anyways, there we go. We got another Omega issue. Axe Judgment Day Omega.
Yeah.
Gonna be forced.
Omega sucker. I'm getting it.
Right, me too. I'm gonna get sucked into that one. We gotta read that. Everything will change. Miracle Man, I'm in for this. Miracle Man.
Yeah, I'm in for it too. We'll see how it goes these first few issues. So I'm still stuck until I read whatever's happening.
Yeah. Oh, they're relaunching Deadpool. It's been a while since they've had a Deadpool series. Okay.
I think I'm buying this one here. I like that first issue, like where he goes literally. He's in a Deadpool.
Right. On the cover there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And of course, you got to have the Rob Liefeld variant here because it's
that was not bad.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. I picked up the last couple of Deadpool series and I've read them to like their entirety. I might be Deadpooled out at the moment. The fact that
I'm gonna pick that one up, but I don't know if I'll follow.
Yeah. Then they are reprinting this issue that Chris actually has the original of. If I'm not mistaken.
What are you putting these reprints out for, man? Burn it.
And it looks like they're now continuing with their Asian superheroes type stuff here. Tiger Division. I don't know what that's all about, but I know that they have like those Arrow.
Nice cover there, but I don't think I'll be buying it.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm gonna pass on that. It's hard to do new characters, right? I hope people support it though. I mean, they're putting them out, so obviously they must have their fans, right? It has nothing to do with whatever. But I am totally all in on this. I love this. Tried more. This is Doctor Strange Fall of Sunrise. This is the return, I think, of Doctor Strange. This is going to be a trippy ass looking book. I can tell you right now. This is a great artist that they have on this book. I'm very excited for this. So this is
Okay, I might be buying this one on your recommendation.
I think it's going to be worth it,
I was
honestly,
going to
Chris.
pass on this.
No,
but, I'll
it's
go.
going to be it's going to be worth it. Trust me, this is going to be worth it. This is only 4-issue miniseries, yeah. So that's Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise 104. I'm really looking forward to it. Then we got Demon Wars, Shield of Justice. Are you done with these Demon Wars
Yeah,
books?
I'm done.
Yeah, that's the Peach Momoko.
I might read them online, but yeah, she just makes nice covers. The stories are kind of crazy.
Oh, looks like Greg Pak is returning to Planet Hulk with a Planet Hulk World Breaker miniseries 105. So I'm not going to check this out. But
yeah,
Planet
maybe I'll
Hulk,
look for the trade. You know, I'm a big trade guy now. It seems.
yeah. Planet Hulk though is the original great story, and Greg Pak wrote it. So there might be some good stuff here, right? So I mean, you know, if you were a Planet Hulk fan, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you'd be interested in this. But I think since that story has already been told, these times where they return to the well aren't always successful, in my opinion, right? So, Extreme X-Men, the return of Chris Claremont to the X-Men, everybody. I'm out too. Yeah, I'm out too.
The whole like extreme cover, whatever series going on. I'm out for all of them. I looked at them all.
They're all animals on this one. What's going on here? I mean, again, this is, like you said, they've been doing a lot of these books recently. This is Chris Claremont's return to the X-Men, but this is Chris Claremont and Salvador Larroca, the artists on this, are the original people that did Extreme X-Men in the 2000s. That was his then return back to the X-Men after the 90s.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's just funny that they keep going back to the well on some of these things, right? So I'm not interested in that personally, but what the hell's this? Murder World Avengers #1. Ooh.
I think that's the one shot and I'm down.
Is that with Arcade? I love Arcade. That's what that. Yeah. Ooh, I might be down for this too. Actually, I do like me some Arcade. Okay, yeah, maybe.
Story. I could be in for that.
Okay. Sabretooth and the Exiles. Looks like the Exiles are removing are coming back again. Yeah, I'm out too. But
I know Sabretooth is crazy. You know, it looks like it's going in a nice direction, but I just can't get involved in that.
Bro, what the hell's going on here? Secret Invasion is back now? What is
I'm
going
out too. I don't freaking
I mean, I'm out too, but why?
Yeah. There's no hype for this. It's coming out of nowhere. That's got to be like a freaking, it can't be in continuity story.
I mean, it says here the Skrulls are back, but like, yeah, like, yeah, that's disappointing, man.
If this was 20 years ago, I'd be down for it, but
yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 13, yes, of course.
Down, of course.
Whoa, look at this cover. What's going on here? Nice. That like a 2000. Like a
that's the extreme variant.
That's pretty awesome, man. Ryan Stegman, I think I'm gonna get that cover.
I'm not.
I'm getting it. That's a pretty awesome cover. I'm out. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, no. But your boy Taboo. No. Spider-Man #2, yes, I'm in. Ooh.
Yep, I'm in.
Look at this cover. That's a nice cover. I like that.
That's it, an A cover.
Yeah. And there's the extreme one. Very cool. All right. What's up here? Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Spider-Man, Double Trouble.
I'm out. Double Trouble. I'm out. No good.
I'm out too. And speaking of going back to the well, we got Spider-Man, The Lost Hunt 105. Of course, J.M. DeMatteis, the writer who wrote Craven's Last Hunt, a fantastic Spider-Man story, guys. If you've never read that, go seek that out. I have more hope for that than I would this. Like, I just reread that book because, again, this is them basically just going back and saying, oh, did we ever tell you this other story that happened during the same time period of Craven and Spider-Man? So
you know, I'm down for Peter Parker and Mary Jane being together. They're going to Portland or something, but come on, they could have picked a better city to go to. No offense to Portland.
Yeah, there's a lot of going back to the well in these solicits, though. I'm surprised.
I'm glad. Freaking spent 100 bones this week, so I'm glad they figured I don't like anything.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind #1, no. One shot. Yeah, I'm out.
This I'm down for, though.
I was supposed to say there's a Thanos book. Thanos Death Notes
this is good.
It's a one shot. Okay.
I buy this one, that's for sure. It's about like Thor or something, where something that happened in the early Thor ones.
Spinning out
Thor figured out how he's going to die.
Yes, spinning out of Donny Cates and Nick Klein's Thor comes in all the Thanos one shot. Okay, yeah, I'm probably in for this. Yeah, I'm probably in for this.
A, cover B, both awesome.
I'm in for this. I pre-ordered the first issue of Namor. I'm actually down for this series. I'm actually going to check this out. Yeah, I'm gonna check this
I'll
out.
hear about it from you then. I'll
Yeah,
probably read it online, but
yeah, I'll talk about it on the show because I kind of rolled
humor's not
the
my
dice.
favorite.
I rolled the dice on it. I'm gonna try it out. Wakanda, no. Midnight Suns, yes, I'm reading this. Nice magic
But
cover. Yeah, I'm in on this one too.
I'll read it online. It looks good though.
Yeah. Ooh, Blade book. Blade Vampire Nation #1. Ooh, I didn't know they're bringing them back. This is a one shot too. I might check this out. I like Blade. I haven't read him in a
Pass
long
on
time.
Blade.
I might
Plus
pick this
Triple
up.
H is in there.
Yeah. No. Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty. No, I think I'm going to pick up the trade of this though. I really like the first issue of this series. I only read the first one and talked about it on the show. I read it digitally. I think I've been hearing good things about this Captain America run. This is the one with this isn't the Sam one, right? Yeah, Symbol of Truth is Sam one. No, I heard this one's good. Symbol of Truth #7. You're out on these, right?
Yeah, I'm out on both.
Ooh, Captain America and Winter Soldier special #1. That's cool.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a one shot. A lot of one shots this month too. What the hell is going on with the Marvel solicits now? Weird. Doing some weird shit here. Then you got Iron Man 25. You're still in on this, right? Oversized Celebration. Are you out? This is 650th issue.
I'll be in.
Yeah.
I want to try and get out of Iron Man, but I think I'm out, and I understand this might be the end because there's the new Iron Man starting up again.
Look at this Alex Ross cover though, man.
That's
Jeez.
awesome. You can't draw like the only reason I've been buying these freaking Iron Mans because of these Alex Ross covers.
Yeah.
He's just kicking. Like, why can't he do freaking other covers?
I can't see this run going on for too much longer with this current
writer. No, it's ending, and they're starting a new Iron Man. I don't know, December or January.
Wait, is that confirmed? Oh, I didn't hear about
one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's the same team.
Okay. Gambit, no. X-Men Legends, no. X-Men 17, yep, we're in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this new team. Yeah, so that's this looks like it is not any more Axe shit in this, so that's cool.
It should be over by then.
You're grabbing this, right? Exterminators?
I think from the ads I'm seeing, I think I'm liking this more and more now. Like there's some vampires and stuff going on. I don't know what it's about, but
yeah,
I think I'm liking it.
Dazzler's on the team.
Yeah, Dazzler.
Legion of X, no. X-Men Red, yes. Yeah, X-Men Red for sure.
I don't know, man.
Marauders. You're out on X-Men Red?
Maybe.
Okay. Marauders? No.
Yeah, Marauders out.
Yeah. Wolverine. Nope.
There's something going on, and I don't know if it's now or later, but there's something happening soon, but I don't know if this is it. Or if it's already passed. Like,
I want to read
2 issues.
I want to read Wolverine, but yeah, I'm just not reading this current run. New Mutants, no.
Yeah, I think I'm out by then. What's that, 31 or something?
32, yeah.
X-Men, definitely out by then.
X-Force, no.
Yeah, out.
Immortal X-Men, I'm still in on this.
I don't know. That's a tough one. It hasn't been really piquing my interest, and I'll give it a go. I might still be in, but
yeah, you have said that though, so yeah, maybe yeah. Black Panther Unconquered #1, no. Fantastic Four reprint of 52. That's the first Black Panther appearance, I believe. Black Panther 11. It's got a lot of Black Panther. It's almost like a movie's coming out or something soon. Savage Avengers. What? Is that fucking Punisher 2099? It is.
That's it.
I might have to fucking get back into this book now, you bastard. I'm trying to step away, man, but that's pretty cool. Oh man. I might be back in on this. We'll see. If anything, I'll read it digitally, but I am interested in that. Okay. You bastards. Okay, all right. Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, Marvel Tales #1, no. Ghost Rider, no. Carnage, what's the deal with you in this? You reading this or no?
I've been reading it online, but I don't know. I can't pull the trigger to buy it.
That's fair.
I thought it was like a 12-issue series or something, but
yeah, I think that's fair.
It's a full-on series. I just can't do it.
Yeah, that's cool. Moon Knight, nope. But I read that in trade. It's been good.
I'd like to get Moon Knight, but I just can't.
Daredevil #5.
Looks good.
Yeah. Punisher 7. Yeah. Oh, Daredevil's now in it. Oh, okay.
That's good too.
Strange. Yeah.
Strange, yep, down.
Looks like Blasphemy Cartel are back. Those guys, yeah. She-Hulk, you still on that?
Yeah, still down for She-Hulk. Those Jen
Nice
Bucktail covers, awesome.
Yeah, nice cover. Strange Academy Finals #2. I'm back with this when that gets relaunched. I'm with that. Captain Marvel, no. Janice Vell, no, we're not reading that.
No.
Defenders Beyond, no. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Oh, my favorite. No, sorry, not.
No. Ultraman, no. Damage Control, no. Captain Marvel, yes.
Yeah, I'm still down for Captain Marvel.
I'll read it in
That's a big cover, though, for sure.
Thunderbolts, Hulk #10, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ryan Otley's back with this. Okay, cool. That's cool. All right. Cross-gen Tales. Oh, so they actually have the rights to the cross-gen still, eh? So cross-gen
I know cross-gen was a thing, but
it was a publisher back in the day that they tried to start up, like in the 90s, I think. And Mark Waid, I think he was part of it. He was part of the creation of this comic company back then. So I'm not surprised that he's on this. I'm out, but I mean, it's cool that they're doing that. Yeah,
I look at it trying to put together a sexy comic, but I don't think it's going to be that spicy, let's say.
Well, the artists they got working on it, that's what I mean. That was the style of that time, right? I mean, that's what I mean. So it's kind of interesting that they're going for it. I mean, I just saw DC said they're doing Wildstorm again now, right? So like that's
I saw that.
They're tapping into some of that shit, right? So Predator, I'm going to continue with. I mean, by this point, by the time 4, it really depends on the next issue or so of this. I'm in right now. I like the first issue. Alien 3, no. Oh, they're starting a Yoda comic. That's kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to check it out, but that's cool that he has his own series.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not many stories told about him through current continuity, so that's cool. That's neat.
That's a nice cover. That should be the A cover. Maybe I would have bought it.
Yeah, I might check that out, actually. I don't know. Star Wars Hidden Empire #1 of 5. Oh, this is, I think, the miniseries that they're talking about. This is going to set the table for like the new direction, I think, of Star Wars for the next year or something. Or maybe it's this It's one of these books that I think is coming out this month.
I just can't get into Star Wars because that's a whole nother world. Even if it's good, I can't afford it.
I pick up the trades if I hear they're good stuff, but I don't try all the Star Wars either. It's too much. Star Wars.
I'm sure pick a cover here and there, or if something's happened that I hear. Bounty
Hunters. This is something I'm checking out. For instance, they're gonna come out with a big hardcover with all the Bounty Hunter stuff in it, like the crossover that they had. That I'm gonna be picking up because Ethan Sachs is good too. He's the guy that wrote the Old Man Hawkeye series. So Star Wars, Han Solo and Chewbacca, Star Wars Mandalorian, a lot of Star Wars here. Darth Vader, that's always been good. Darth Vader's always been good. Star Wars Dr. Aphra, Star Wars Charles Soule, and that's it. There you go. That's the Marvel solicitations, everybody. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, not too bad. Nothing too crazy, but some interesting stuff
going on. Big month, but I'll take it.
All right, Chris, you got your list ready. What are you picking up next week, my friend?
Okay, next week. Let's see. We got Axe Judgment Day 3, Avengers Forever 8, Fantastic Four 46, Spider-Gwen 5, Amazing Spider-Man 8, Action Comics 1046.
Nice.
What do we got? Deathstroke 12. DC Detective Comics 1063 and Harley 21. So not a crazy week so far. Who knows what shows up in my box though.
I like though, as we're going through the solicitations, you're putting some limitations on yourself. You're like, no. Like, I can't do it.
I know. It was $100 this week, right off the top. It's like, wow, come on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
These are card payments I'm doing every week.
I enjoy doing these, but at the same time, we can help each other by trying to read more things online and cut down on actual. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm with it too. Believe me. That's why I think the comic book dollar these days, if you don't hook somebody within an issue or two, I usually just drop it because you can always just revisit it online or pick up a trade. you don't need to be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like when it happens all the time, like
You gotta
the
get
main
rid of that FOMO, the fear of missing
yes,
out or whatever, you
yes.
know.
The
But
only thing that I will say is I do enjoy talking about some of these books when we do the
yeah,
show, but
it's
but
like
it's
here
not
by new.
it's not enough for me to be like I got to check out everything though. No,
And I'm a
so
sucker for a good cover, so
yeah, well that's your whole deal right there. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I heard it there. I mean, who doesn't like a nice cover though? I didn't know if I heard it there though in your list. Are you not picking up Detective or
yeah,
did you
detective. Yeah, I'm still
say it?
picking that up. I'll see where it goes. Wow.
It's on the
Yeah,
chopping block. It's on the chopping block. Yeah, there you go. It's a nice cover though. It's on the chopping block for me, that one. So we'll see.
yeah,
Batman White Knight presents Red Hood, number 2, 2 of 2. That's the last issue. Detective Comics 1063, Harley Quinn 21. I'm picking up this Tales of the Human Target number 1, which is like I guess short stories of him prior to the book coming back. I think in October. I think this is why they put it out, because it's been a few months since they went on hiatus. Amazing Spider-Man number 8, Axe Judgment number 3, Deadly Class 55, which is the second last issue, I think, of the series. It's a big one. Fantastic Four 46, which is the last Dan Slott issue of the series, and Farmhand number 20, Public Domain number 3, and Shaolin Cowboy Cruel to Be Kin number 4. Yeah, that's it for me next week. That's not as big as this week, but still, like, what do I got here? 5, 6, 7. It's still like 10 books. Yeah, so it's a decent sized week. So yeah, good stuff. All right, Chris. What in this big week of comics, what was your favorite thing this week?
I'm looking through them right now. Nothing really jumped out. I thought they were all good comics. Nothing great. Why did you throw yours up?
Sure. It should come as no surprise, but do a Powerbomb number 3. This actually, I think, might have been my favorite. I think every single issue I think has come out. But like you just said, I think there was a lot of middle of the road type stuff this week, and then there was some good stuff, but nothing that kind of jumped ahead of the pack other than this book right here. And I didn't even know if I was going to go 5 with it until I was talking about it, guys. I knew it was a great issue. I knew it was going to score high, but once we got into the conversation, though, I was like, yeah, I had no problems with this at all, this book. I think it was just a great, great issue. So
I was gonna go with Nightwing, but I can't. I'm gonna go with New Mutants 28.
wow, nice.
Sailor Moon homage, can't go wrong with that. Some nice art in there, nice story. It had a bit of that freaking. I think there was a little goblin there that was pushing around magic there, putting a book in her. But it wasn't anything like those Punisher and what's that Daredevil, with a little freaking behind the scene action that helped them escape or do what they did. So,
Right.
but I do like that New Mutants. The end of the arc. I'll go with that.
Nice. Well, I'm just happy to see it. You pick that just because I know you've been in and out of the series. It's not like you're like a consistent reader, but you've been really
I'm out of the series, I think, after 30.
Right. So that's cool, though. I mean, it's cool that you can pick something up for an arc and get into it and be like, yeah, that was good, and move on, right? So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week then. Yeah, a little bit of a longer episode to this week, I know, but lots of great stuff to talk about next week as well. We'll go over the DC solicits as well next week. And like I said, the next week after that, maybe talk about some con stuff, my experiences at the Comic-Con. And some good stuff always to talk about coming up, guys. And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff. And thank you to Chris, as always, for joining me. So we'll see you guys next week. Later.
Read it, need it.
There you go.